Well, I'd had a cup of coffee, as you may remember, Jack, with Rick Wilson and the freshman football team, and at which time I was dubbed Stump, and I think I lasted all of about 3 days, whatever it was. So a bunch of the guys were going to be playing lacrosse, including some guys who had played football, and the DARP, of course, was good at recruiting football players, particularly guys like Paul Lengiza, who hadn't picked up a lacrosse stick, and he ended up playing some defense on the freshman lacrosse team. So I figured, well, if there's a bunch of other guys that are learning how to play the game, I'll do it. Rapidly learned that the game was much more complex and required more skill than I had. But it was great fun to be on the team, and I made a commitment to myself that regardless of how little playing time I had, I was going to stay on the team, for the entire season. And I'm glad I did, because it was a lot of fun, and it also allowed me to get to know Coach Ostendarp a bit. And I used to stand next to him.
And vice versa, I might add.
Well, it was fun, because as you guys know, the DARP was influential on a lot of folks, not just the guys that he considered to be his players. But I used to stand next to him during games, and we would talk about what was going on in the game. And I also thought maybe by doing that I might actually get in at some point. And he always used to tell me that you're too small and you're too slow, Holloway, so you're just going to have to work a lot harder. And I said, well, okay, thank you, Coach. I'll do my best. And by the way, you look like a sheepdog. You need to get a haircut. Anyway, we were on a road trip, and I have no idea where we were going, and it was just another game that I wasn't going to play in. And we stopped for a training meal and at some inn. And so we're seated at the long table, and the DARP spies a piano, a grand piano that's kind of on a platform in the adjacent room, and whereupon he announces there must be someone on this team who can play the piano, whereupon there was a chorus, and I remember this distinctly, there was a chorus of stomp, 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 whereupon the DARP dispatched me to the piano to play something. So I went up, and I even remember the song that I played, because it was the only tune that I thought was a passable solo tune that I knew at that point in time, and it was a ballad by the great jazz pianist and composer Billy Taylor. So in any event, I'm playing the tune, and I got maybe a minute or two into the tune, and the manager came over and told me that I wasn't supposed to be playing the piano, so I came back. But the DARP liked it, is the point, and we kind of bonded over music. And over the years, and it's not that I was close friends with the DARP, because that's not the point, but I would see him, once or twice a year at Amherst. And even into his later years, he always remembered me as Stump. He always would call me. Where I do plan to live forever, and I plan to be playing piano at age 100. But the reality is you don't know. And I think while we're still healthy and we can get together, and that people are mobile enough they can actually travel a bit, it's important for people to get together. And frankly, it's not just a function of reminiscing. I mean, I enjoy reminiscing. I love telling stories and so on. But it's the thing that's important is really the enduring friendships and the relationships that were made. In your case, playing lacrosse, and I had my cup of coffee with lacrosse, and I do feel to some degree a part of it, primarily because of Jim Ostendarp, but to a lesser degree because of the good guys that I met or got to know better, playing on the freshman lacrosse team. And the other part of it, that's a bonding experience, I think, and I'm not sure that I'm quite sure, in fact, that I didn't pay too much attention to this at the time, but looking back on it, it was significant. We had the physical proximity. We were practicing and playing on adjacent fields, and so we were almost, rugby and lacrosse were almost teammates. And in fact, when I started practicing law, and I had a chance to observe Scully Scandrett in close quarters on a number of occasions with his fabulous red good luck lacrosse stick, and I would do a bit of an imitation for my colleague Ralph Ardith, and he'd get tied up in stitches. We'd have, after a couple of beers, and I'd be doing my imitation of Scully. He said, "Yeah, that's just it." And his nickname was Ginger because he had quite red hair back in the day. And when Scully was irritated with him, and Ralph was one of his stars, "Jeez, Ginger, you've got to. And of course, he'd get all tied up and couldn't complete the sentence, but the message was nevertheless clear. But they're not only the great memories, but they're also the fact that we can still connect, and I think that's the most important thing. It certainly is very important to me. And so, thank you.
Friday night with the Sultans, of swing. And a crowd of young boys, they're fooling around in the corner, drunk and dressed in their best brown baggies in their platform soles.
Did I ever kill any of your fruit flies in your senior thesis? I'm trying to.
I think you killed my own thesis one night.
I think that's probably so. But that's again because you had me helping you, which that's where you screwed up because you had me helping you.
Like an Animal House.
Animal House, that's exactly right.
You screwed up. You trusted us.
You trusted us. That's exactly right.
I couldn't get a